Hi, hello, welcome in. We're about to watch, or rather, I already have watched the Future Games Showcase. This showcase is focused on games that are innovative, which is what excited me most about it. And as per usual, we're going to talk about my standouts from the showcase afterwards, so stick around for my top 10 plus a couple of honorable mentions in no particular order. Let's get into the showcase. That should probably be better. Yeah, that's peaking in yellow instead of peaking in red, which I think is probably what we want. Wait, here we go. Woo, 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 woo. I've got my handy little index card for any of the games that really stand out, because I like to do like a list of standouts at the end, particularly for the YouTube video afterwards, so depending on how much we talk about it. Like after today.
Your hosts, Laura Bailey and Matt Mercer.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Future Game Show Summer Showcase. My name is Laura Bailey, though you probably know me best as Abby Anderson in The Last of Us Part 2 or as one of the cast members from Critical Role.
That's how I know you, yeah.
Behind many video game chaos merchants such as Like a Dragon's Mad Dog Majima and Ganondorf from Tears of the Kingdom. But if it's a Thursday night, I also moonlight as Critical Role's debonair dungeon master, where Laura tries her best to test the very limits of my abilities and sanity.
And you love it. But we're here today joining
It's
forces
true.
for a very different reason.
I know them
Exclusive
from
video
Critical
game
Role,
trailers
and then I
lots
found
of
out that they were video game
Whole
voice
bunch of world
actors.
premieres, deep dives, and developer presentations. It's frankly an irresponsible amount of video game news that will be beamed directly into your brains for the next 90 minutes, so buckle up.
Don't make it sound so scary. This is gonna be fun. Just keep in mind that if you want to wishlist any of the cool games in today's show, then you can head to the dedicated Future Game Shows.
That's in the pinned post if you want to check it out for
Plenty
yourselves.
of follow-up coverage on GamesRadar.com
For peeps on
and
YouTube,
the
it'll be
Future
down
Game
below.
Show YouTube channel.
Well, I think that's all of the housekeeping out of the way. So let's kick things off with our very first world premiere.
World premiere! Bow, bow, bow.
Zafar, pull up NavTech.
It looks good. Space gotta give me something other than space to get me interested, just because of who I am.
Just wanted to do him justice. Stuck his neck out for us. Least we can do is get him out alive. We've got big enough guns to make justice, all right? Oh, Michael. To a man with a hammer, just about everything looks like a nail.
Aim for show. Time to say oh yeah with our hammer.
Missile range in 1 minute.
Brace yourselves. We're going for a spin.
So many bullet things. This does seem like a narrative game, so like I'm kind of into it for that.
Zafar, did you get a signal?
Oh, maybe a little stealthy? I do like stealth.
Long time before our arrival. Fine. Let's deal with those guys first.
In you load They never look up.
I don't know, I'm one of those weird people who like the super realistic graphics. Like, I know that other people get really excited about that, but I kind of like prefer weird little like quirky like hand-drawn type stuff. This game does look incredible though.
The bird up high shall be thine eye. What the hell happened here?
Oh boy, Shooty Space Marine game number 100. Yeah, this is something maybe you'd be more interested in than I would be. Suddenly we got like alien zombie type thing, or maybe they're just crystallized. I thought for a second, oh no, he is alive. The Expanse Osiris something. Things always move too fast for my brain to You're having a realization here that I'm not. But what's new? Expanse. Yeah, okay, so I do know a weird amount about the Expanse. I'm pretty sure it's the Expanse that I know a weird amount about from a particular person I know who is very into science things. And for what I understand, it is really good and interestingly like super realistic.
Start the show. The Expanse Osiris Reborn is an action RPG crafted in Unreal Engine 5, where you can immerse yourself in the universe.
So while it's definitely not something that I'm super amped about, it's definitely something that I know people will be amped about.
For fantasy in the process. So let's take a look.
Blood, gore, and intense violence. Watch out, guys. This also looks incredible.
I used to swear by my father's oath.
I've been watching too much Dexter.
Rewards is to protect our people, and if it claims our lives, what's one life lost for the sake of the many?
And now, what do you swear by today?
The only one that matters is my brother. And
Interesting.
I will kill the people who took him from me.
Okay. I could maybe get into this one. Oh, that thing looked cool. I mean, I'm more interested in this one because it is more fantasy than it is sci-fi. That's definitely, like, more where my preferences lie. I also actually prefer close combat to ranged combat.
Pestilence must be purged.
That was interesting. That weapon?
The wards are breaking. And should we fail, it may spell another end.
I do feel like I want to know more about this world. Echoes of the End coming this summer. I'll write this one down. To further look at.
We're thrilled to reveal Echoes of the End, a narrative-driven fantasy adventure coming later this year.
But the fun doesn't stop there. Here's another world premiere.
It's important to note that this is your very first look at the game, but from what I can tell, there's evil residing in these woods.
I do like evil in the woods. Is it actually horror? Because that excites me. Oh, creepy scarecrow things. Oh, maybe not. Maybe they're just lanterns. Maybe they're gibbets. I think they're just lanterns. Oh, I got excited they were scarecrows. Oh yeah, creepy sounds in the background, creepy singing. Weird little gargoyle things. Feeling very ancient ruins in the forest. Little abandoned, or not abandoned cabin, little secluded cabin. Wake up in the forest with no memory. With no map and just a flashlight to light your steps. I'm gonna get lost if I play this. With the feeling you're always watched. The whispers are all around you. Try to remember. And find your way home. I am wondering if there's a survival aspect to this, because they keep showing, like, the winter. I definitely want to know more about it. Whispers in the fog. Because I do love a horror. I'm just not sure I got enough of the story for that.
What could possibly go wrong? That was your first look at Whispers in the Fog.
It's a psychological horror game from a supremely talented solo developer. Be sure to give it a wish list if you like what you see.
And next up, we've got a trailer for an open-world action RPG based on the beloved anime, The Seven Deadly Sins. Let's check it out.
Okay, I watched some of this one. I don't think I've watched very much of it. So I'm not super familiar. I'm not even sure I finished a season of it, honestly. And I'm having very little recollection. I do tend to burn out on open world games. I know, I will go back to BG3. I'm not sure when, because I got a lot of games to play right now that are like required of me. Yeah, I feel like if I'd like,
Seven Deadly Sins
if I had
Origins,
more
coming soon
attachment to the
PC
show,
and
I might
PS5.
be more
You can
hyped by that
pre-register
one.
now at 7origin.netmarble.com.
Okay.
But another one that I could definitely
Coming
understand the
season
hype
7
for.
of free-to-play Destructo shooter, The Finals. Let's take a look.
Destructo shooter? What does that mean?
Welcome to the future of the finals!
The pressure's peaking. Every second counts, and these plays
Is this like a reality show?
What the finals is all about. Split-second decisions, teamwork under fire, and victory carved in chaos.
love it. But sometimes the best strategy is to just hit your opponent really, really hard.
It's giving like Squid Game, but shootery, because oh shit, there's a movie that's like you gotta kill everybody and it's a reality show. And I'm not talking about Hunger Games. There's a different one. Oh my god, people are dropping dicks in the chat.
Season 7 of
driving
the
me
finals
nuts.
launches on June 12th. And whether you're a seasoned veteran or a new contestant entering the arena, if you're tuning in on the FGS Twitch channel, you can earn a Twitch drop of this Kablamo grenade skin.
Yes, anybody who watches this very show for 15 consecutive minutes on the FGS Twitch channel will earn the skin. So, if you've been with us from the very start, or you're just joining us, wherever you've been, then just stick around.
And not that you need any more reasons, but it's time to move on and talk about hurdling, a shepherd simulator with a whole lot of soul. Let's find out when you can get your hands on it.
I would love to be a herder. I like hooved animals. I guess I would like to understand what my goal is, though. Like, is this like some sort of narrative, like as I move through the world hurting my little guys, or... Oh no! I want to know why they all have like these bright colors on their backs. I just don't understand what the point is, but I'm interested by it because I like hooved animals.
Hurdling launches later this year, but you can try guiding those adorable calicorns right now by downloading the demo.
It does have a demo, which
on
is
Steam. What's
important information.
Sleep Awake, which is anything but cute. It's a first-person psychedelic thriller that explores the realm of
Psychedelic thriller?
This game is helmed by Corey Davis of Spec Ops, The Line, and Robin Fink of Nine Inch Nails.
Oh, let's take a closer look.
Interesting.
I cannot sleep. I cannot sleep. I must not sleep.
Oh. Okay, I'm in. I mean, it's horror, of course I'm in.
Come along.
This way. You're not ignoring me now, dear, are you? This is all perfectly natural.
I don't think it is natural.
Awake!
Resisting the inevitable comes at a cost. Give me your idea.
Sleep awake. I definitely want to look into that more. So I think the concept
Sleep
seems
Awake is
interesting.
coming soon, so drop it on your wish lists.
We've got a developer presentation for Eriksholm, The Stolen Dream, up next. It's a cinematic isometric stealth game set in the year 1900.
Oh, isn't that the year you were born?
I am a few months younger than you, Laura.
I don't think so. No.
I must find her
He's all I've got.
before he does.
Eriksholm is a game set in kind of a fantasy version of the early 1900s, and it has a Scandinavian theme style.
Interesting.
To it. I would describe it as a stealth puzzle game with a
Stealth
very
puzzle
strong
game.
emphasis on story, where you play up to 3 playable characters that you switch between, and they have their own special abilities that you need to use together to kind of solve situations and puzzles in a kind of interlaced way where everyone's involved.
It's in this setting of a Scandinavian nature, which not only resonates with me, but with the rest of the world, because it's so unique. It's always nice to see something new that people can relate to.
So I've worked a lot with like lighting and 3D rendering, cinematic lighting, stuff like that. So Anders showed me the rendering of one of the movies. It just floored me. I thought it was so beautiful. Then he said, okay, so Theo, what I want from you is I want you to make this look even better.
We play tested the game a lot, and what people usually say is that it feels like I'm playing a movie, but in a great way. River and Games was based on the idea that if you have the right mix of people, then perhaps a really small team can still make something that's actually pretty cool.
How is this made by 16 people? Like, why is this quality so high?
A little now and then I sit down in the couch and I just enjoy a fresh build. The story just gets to perform. You're just drawn right in. It's a magical feeling.
I'm really excited for players to just discover this world.
I'm also very
Eriksholm
excited
is
to
coming
discover
to
this
Xbox,
world.
PlayStation, Steam, and Epic Game Store. And we have an exclusive trailer that we're about to show you that will reveal the release date. I hope
I'm
you enjoy.
stoked. This looks really cool. And I love the idea of a stealth puzzle game, especially with like the idea of the different characters having kind of like different skill sets for those puzzles and stuff. Also, it looks great. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. This looks really good. – July 15th, it's coming out soon.
Thank you so much to our friends at River End Games for that window into the world of Eriksholm. It's coming to PC, Xbox, and PS5 on July 15th.
So go wishlist it on Steam or the Epic Games Store. All right, now we've got a new trailer for a cel-shaded shooter with gameplay inspired by the Stalker series. Here's the latest trailer for The Explorator.
I don't know what that means. I hate it when they reference other games because I don't know most other games. Oh, that thing looks cool though. Okay, these look like they have like gears and things. So do all those things move? Oh, that's very pretty. Am I the guy inside that? I want to understand more. It looks very good. Just tell me what the game's about. Okay, it's suddenly giving me, what's that game that everybody's playing? Welcome to Mon, how's it going? The Explorator. The Explorator? Where does the emphasis go? Figure which is now afraid of cats? Uh-oh. I'm gonna write that one down just because I need to know more. The Explorator.
Is launching into early access today, so go check it out on Steam.
Oh,
Support
sweet.
the developers on the road to launch.
Constance is up next, a Metroidvania where you wield the power of a paintbrush to escape a decaying inner world.
Live into my interests.
I do like the idea of the paintbrush being a part of it, but I don't know if Metroidvanias are for me. I don't really have strong opinions one way or the other, mostly because I'd not played one. I like the art style of it. That's a lie. Yeah, I really liked the, oh, that's my birth! It comes out on my birthday? Cute.
Constance is coming to PC on November 24th, but there's a demo available on Steam if you want to go give it a go after the show.
Oh, I mean,
Those of you who have
if
tuned
it
in
has
before
a
will know
demo.
that during the Every Future Game Show, we create a trio of deep dives into some of the most exciting upcoming games.
I've not been here before. This is
First game we're
exciting.
tackling for the summer showcase is Titan Quest II. Now, fans have been waiting since 2006 for a sequel to Iron Lore's cult classic action RPG, and the good news is, it's right around the corner.
So let's dig into the details with the help of Grimlore Games.
Tell us the whole story. Tell us about hope.
Titan Quest II is kind of your Diablo-esque action RPG, but it's set in ancient Greek mythology. You really can immerse yourself in what you associate Greece with. You'll be fighting these mythological monsters, some of which we came up with ourselves, some of which are from Titan Quest I. Greek mythology also has become very much part of pop culture in the last 2 decades. Some other games have had great success with this, and we thought that we have this great IP on our hands, why not use it? In Titan Quest II, you'll be playing as a rather unknown hero character. You're not really a hero yet. You're honestly just training to be a capable fighter.
Okay, very D&D. Start at level 1, where you're just a nobody.
Used to be a priestess of Nemesis, as you'll find out later. You will build up
Wow, spoilers.
over time as you prove yourself in front of the gods. Gameplay-wise, Titan Quest II is very much a classic ARPG, but we've got our own twists in there with like the mastery system, for example, where you merge 2 masteries into one instead of just being given classes. So you have to find these
that's interesting.
entanglements that you can have between the 2
Okay,
masteries.
I wasn't sure I was into this, but
of them possible.
I kind of hate that it's like a second and I've known nothing about the first, but
in multiple directions. The mixed classes is something we support quite a lot, actually. But the core fantasies of just a tanky warrior, of course you're gonna have that. You can take your character in many directions, and choice is at the core of our game. Your abilities will be modifiable, so each of them has like these several modifier choices that you can equip into your skill. This is our little innovation in this space.
I think it sounds cool.
We're not going to be doing any microtransactions in this game because we don't believe in that form of monetization in general. We will be doing traditional DLCs, however. So after the 1.0 launch, we'll be putting out larger DLC packs, which will include additional chapters. So
good for them.
The general bosses, creatures, areas, and masteries, of course. So Titan Quest II will be coming to Steam Early Access very soon. You can wishlist it now already. And we're looking for a summer timeline for this. And then later, the other platforms.
Nice. Cow is normal cat, magical beast hybrid. She's looking to find the owner. Uh-oh. That sounds like maybe she didn't find the owner.
Titan Quest 2 is coming soon, and you can wishlist it on Steam or the Epic Games Store.
Wait, legendary actor Yui Lowenthal?
The Spider-Man to my MJ? What are you doing here?
Hey guys. Hey man. I was just, wandering the sound stages, taking in the sights and smells, and then I heard you guys making noise about video games out here, and I thought I'd join in.
Okay, well, I mean, since you're already here, why don't you take the next trailer? Well, right?
I mean, if that's okay with you guys, I don't
No, it's great. Work your magic. We'll just be over here.
All right. Got you. Well, get ready, folks, because it's time for another world premiere. This one's a follow-up to a beloved puzzle adventure that launched back in 2020.
The cat created many troubles. Fair. That'll happen when it's mixed with magic.
That should be forgotten.
Interesting.
To escape my past.
I'm in, I think. Seems very mysterious.
Of death and madness. But the world is changing. Some now search for answers in the far reaches of the world.
Post-apocalypse? The world looks messed up.
Secrets
Maybe?
Dizzying marvels. For there lies upon this world of man a mocking and incredible shadow out of time.
I don't understand what the game is.
Call of the Elder Gods, starring yours truly, is a Lovecraftian narrative puzzle adventure coming soon to PC and consoles. So get it on your wish lists ASAP.
So you weren't just wandering the lot then?
I mean, I was, but then, it's called marketing, Matt.
Yeah, Matt. Classic marketing.
Classic.
Anyway.
All right, catch you later.
Okay.
I gotta wander.
Hell yeah, thanks for coming, man. Bye. See you, bye. Okay, so while I go make sure there's no other voice actors hiding on set, we'll throw it out to some back-to-back trailers.
I'll stay here.
Read bio course. How hard could it be?
How hard could it be?
Hard.
I like the writing.
It's like capture the
Okay. I think there's been some things that other people would be really excited about Steel. Not necessarily a lot of like This one on the other hand.
You play as Ash, a shipwrecked castaway with no memories and a big ass sword.
Let's see if I remember how to
But I mean, I say that and like I have like a pretty long list already. This sounds up my alley for sure. Some really good looking games for sure. Like even the ones that like gameplay wise aren't really for me.
This whole island is madhouse.
Combat in Vale of the Witch is built for hardcore tactics fans, with an emphasis on speed and brutality.
Speed?
That means a small party, tight battle maps, and enemies that can drop you in just a few hits. To stand a chance, you'll have to master each ally's unique kit.
If it's turn-based, why do I have to be speedy?
Marco, glass cannon caster Laurent.
This does sound like something I'd like to check out though.
All your abilities work on a cooldown, so you'll have to think smart and learn to juggle. You can also level up and unlock new skills right in the middle of battle. Surrounding this rock-solid core is a branching roguelike structure focused on skill in the face of
I do like
unpredictable
roguelikes.
challenges. Face off against cool bosses.
Burn! Beacon of the dead!
Get your shit wrecked. Then head back to
Whoa,
town, where you can
language.
unlock upgrades, chat with allies, craft equipment, and more. And if you're real nasty, take on trials mode for bigger challenges and better rewards. Fight, die, rise again, stronger, then come back and conquer. Lost Eidolons, Vale of the Witch.
Vale of the
Early access
Witch.
available now on Steam and coming soon to Xbox, PS5, and Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, that seemed very up my alley. It looked like there was like narrative mixed in too with turn-based strategic combat. Yes, please. Yeah, it looks super fun. Eldritch game couldn't recognize. Yeah, I was confused by that as well. That's something that bothers me about a lot of trailers is they don't give me all of the pieces that I need to know to understand if I'm interested in the game. Like I need to understand like what kind of gameplay it is and like the themes of it, I suppose, like the purpose behind the game. This looks like one of the main mechanics is like matching like player color to like object color, which seems like a really interesting mechanic. But I do think that seems like it has to be multiplayer.
Can anyone hear me?
Is it a demo? Ooh, you'll have to tell me how it is.
Unit 1 to dispatch. Copy.
Hey, this is multiplayer, it looks. We played a firefighter game once. Ember. EMBR. Red and I played that. It was much more cartoony, but I feel like it's very similar in mechanic. Yeah, this looks like Ember with like more realistic graphics. Particular monster could have time travel implications. Okay, that is good to know. But that comes from you having background knowledge. Where was that in my trailer? That looks like a lot of fun.
United against fire.
If only because I know how much fun I had with Ember.
Now on PC and consoles.
Are we all clear? No Nolan Norths or Ashley Johnsons waiting in the wings?
No, I think we're good. Okay. Now remember, folks, you can find all those games as well as every game we feature today on the Future Game Show Steam page.
Yes, and you'll want to prime your wish list in
Twitch pin comment.
It's a game where you play as a bureaucratic inspector in a fantasy
YouTube
world.
people down below.
Make sure the evil layer is up to code before the party heads inside?
Yes, that's literally the whole deal.
Okay, I legitimately need this game.
That sounds interesting.
Heroes. The world is full of them. Sons and daughters of farmers with too much bravery and not enough wisdom. So say.
That's a fun way to describe their heroes.
Without a princess to save, without dragons to slay, Nothing. That's where you come in. As an agent at the Bureau of Fantastical and Arcane Affairs, you will ensure everything is as it should be for the hero's arrival.
Inside this cave, you'll find a necromancer who, according to our reports, is a complete and utter embarrassment to the
This sounds amazing!
The book is titled Hellgates Anew, Your First Ritual Sacrifice.
As it turns out, putting the soul of a demon inside of a skeleton is a touch more tricky than you might imagine.
We, the members of the United Builders Union of Enchanted Settlements, hereby announce a strike, effective immediately. It's the inspector, here with their cushy job.
Yeah, me too, Steel.
Decides if we have to do more
Scholars sending their mind through time. Oh, interesting.
Not in the budget.
But what is a story without a good hero at its helm? With one unsanctimonious swing, you lop his head off. It hardly felt good, but incompetent evil is still evil.
Yeah, this seems... It's like...
We are happy to welcome you, our newest agent to the court.
I mean, it seems a bit like a dungeon designer.
Arcane Affairs today.
Oh shit, I missed what it was called. Is that what it's called?
Fantastical and Arcane Affairs is coming later this year.
And now for something completely different. This one's for the fans of shooters, anime, and Y2K aesthetics.
That's me.
Okay, you got me with one of those things. 1/3 is usually not enough. What the fuck? Team Waifu. They were right that the Y2K aesthetics are great, though. Oh, that was cute. Whoa. The jiggle physics. Probably not something I was supposed to focus on, but how could I not? Never mind, it's definitely something I'm supposed to focus on. You gotta have that booby jiggle in your shooters. It's your Razer phone. I never had a Razer. Apparently weapon, the bodies through time, and kidnap mind is used to write a diary. Okay, that sounds really interesting. Now that I understand the game a bit more, I'm more interested in it than I was before. I'm not a huge shooter fan, but I like the way that this game looks, and I think that a lot of other people could be super hyped for this one. That's yeah. We can make assumptions that the game would be similar, though, for sure. Is a smart razor out now and you're unsure about it? That's wild. I had no idea.
Waifu Tactical Force is a 3v3 anime shooter coming soon to PC, but you can jump into the open playtest on Steam after the show.
Now we've got a trailer for an action platformer inspired by the ancient art of paper
Fair.
building.
Time traveling is quite interesting. Okay, graphics are super cool. I wasn't listening. This, I assume this is platformy by the look of things. You can refold yourself? That's pretty cool. I'd like to watch somebody play this for sure. I'm not like against platformers by any means, so I'm not like not interested. They're just not my go-to for sure. I'm gonna write it down, but small fee of $1,000. Jeez. If I can find like one more origami-based game, I could do like a paper trail this game and it as like the 3 best origami games you've ever seen. A dual screen phone that folds. Of Paper Mario. Oh, that makes sense. Bug Fables? I don't know what that is, but maybe.
Your wish lists on Steam and the Epic Games Store, and check out the free demo, which is available on Steam.
Okay, time for an update on Eve Frontier. This is CCP Games' Spacebound Survival MMO.
I like survival. Space is less my thing.
Eve Frontier is an invitation.
I'm not
everyone
into it.
That have had the idea in their brain to make a game. And often the best way to make a game is to start and modify an existing game. We have now created an MMO server-side modding platform, and we offer an invitation to you to come and build with us. You can build tools, you can build worlds, you can do so many things. And this is a great way to start your game development adventure by sort of playing around in the amazing survival.
That's kind of cool.
Sandbox we have created. When we made Eve Online, we very much wanted to make a sandbox experience where most of the things and the infrastructure in the game would actually be built by players. But we did build quite a bit of it ourselves. Seeing what emerged from Eve, especially when it comes to the third-party development ecosystem, we could actually give a lot more agency to players to literally build the world.
That's kind of cool.
As we go through this process of stripping down to a survival game, we are, on the other hand, building up an amazing modding platform. Basically, what Eve Frontier enables third-party developers is to mod the actual server, creating additional software that both read and writes the world state. And that, I think, will enable something truly astounding that has never been seen before. But this is very much inspired by the third-party ecosystem that is developed around Eve Online. We are basically supercharging that with the smart assemblies and the modding platform we're built into Frontier. And what we have seen so far in our various hackathons and events, and what we've just seen in the sort of builder community overall, absolutely delivers on that vision in spades.
I feel like I've heard of Eve before. I don't know a whole lot about it, but that seems really interesting. Definitely falls into the like innovation that I'm expecting from future games show.
We have a brand new trailer for Formula Legends, an arcade racing game that covers the history.
Red, it's a racing game. Red loves racing games. It starts with a history professor having 2 collapses with amnesia. Doesn't know temporary personality did in the oh, okay, interesting. I actually played like a fair amount of racing games as a kid. I forget. Like there was like a really old one that I played that was part of like all the old games disc that I got, and then like a more, I mean, still like a long time ago, but a more modern looking one. Played a Crash Bandicoot racing game. Nice. Yeah, I've played like arcade racing games. And then like, I mean, I've done like Mario Kart. And there's one that was like normal racing cars that I've played. That was like super old original Xbox game. Slowly unravels. Yeah, okay, that does sound like what the game was getting at.
Formula Legends is racing towards release on PC and consoles, but you can play the demo now on Steam and also wishlist it on Steam or the Epic Games Store. But for now, let's keep it rolling with our Ones to Play section, which is a future game show staple. It's a montage of exciting games that you can play on Steam right after the show.
So, if you like what you're looking at, don't hesitate to download a demo and
Right. Got my writing pen ready.
This is an action roguelike where
I feel like I've heard of this one already.
by aliens and repel enemies with your trusty sidekick, the Star Cursor. Players can mod Polo's ability.
I like that they're telling us stuff about these over the top, because sometimes they'll just show these. And I'm like, I don't know what these are, because they go by too fast kind of thing.
Next up, we've got Phase Zero.
Do you like zombies?
Survival horror throwback with fixed cameras and immersive pre-rendered
Oh,
environments.
with fixed
A
cameras.
menacing illness has descended on the town of Flint Peak. Can you solve puzzles?
I recently watched PW playing like I think the first Resident Evil that has fixed cameras.
Roguelike with a city builder twist. You'll recruit, train, and command a crew of warriors in strategic turn-based battles, then develop a coastal city in the interim. Carve your name into the annals of history and spill.
That seems maybe interesting.
Last but not least, we've got How to Escape Lost Submarine. With one player on PC or console and the other using a mobile companion app.
Oh,
you can
interesting.
communicate and collaborate to complete puzzles and stop the outbreak of war.
That gives me keep talking and nobody explodes vibes.
Montage. Be sure to follow up on anything that caught your eye.
So tired. I'll never get tired of
Another
zombies.
exclusive trailer for a naval combat simulator set in the late 18th century.
Every voyage begins with a plan. A vision etched on parchment, foretelling glory or downfall. It is in our nature to conquer what others fear.
The blood splatter looks really good.
The life of a sea captain is one of duty and relentless pursuit. True riches are not in gold and jewels, but in the stories we bring back and the legend we become.
I don't understand what the gameplay is yet, though.
We arrive, but never at our final destination.
Like, is this about managing the ship? Is there a lot of combat? We talking ship-to-ship combat?
We sail.
Are we talking colonization?
For the voyage is life, and life is the voyage.
Okay, looks beautiful. Don't know what I'd be doing while playing it.
Join the crew today on Kickstarter.
I don't understand what that game was. Yeah, context. Give me any sort of like understanding of what the game is. Like, it looks great. And it could be really cool, but like, I don't know what I'm doing in it. If paranormal zombies made a comeback, yeah, that would be really cool, actually. I was having that thought the other day.
Spotlight montage is up next.
Weirdly.
So, say goodbye to
I am reading a book about zombies. And then did a sample edit for somebody writing a book about zombies.
Gothic vocabulary is that we'll be back on stage once we've talked you through some super cool games.
That's what I meant. Flickshot Rogues is a turn-based strategy roguelike where you trade tactical trick shots for
Beyblades?
devastating damage. Across a constantly shifting cartoon peninsula, players will trigger explosive combos and commit to game-changing upgrades. It's coming to PC later this year, but you can try it for yourself ahead of time by checking out the free
Or
demo
like
on
pogs, or like curling but not curling.
Par Golf Architect, an all-in-one simulator where you
Oh, where's Caleb
train
from
to
Canada?
create world-class courses and then try them out firsthand. As well as placing the green and obstacles between, you'll manage staff, budgets and customers on your
Okay, so this is akin to like 2 Point or something maybe.
but you can wishlist
It could be a story game. Yeah, I have no idea. Like, was it a visual novel? I don't know. I see them crawl out of graves. Yeah. Me too. Yeah, I would love to see that come back. Maybe I make that come back in literature. I'll write something.
Freeze time to anticipate attacks and topple voxel monsters. Ascend to Zero is coming soon to PC, but in the meantime, you can check out the free demo on Steam and drop it onto your wish lists.
Or how about Animal
Oh, cute!
This is a cozy cooperative town building game where you play as a crew of adorable critters
In mechs. Why?
Players will use their industrial grade opposable thumbs
This might be the only kind of mech I'm into.
materials and establish a community of cute creatures.
It does seem really cute.
Kind is coming soon to PC. But
Oh, and you can hang on the outside? Oh my gosh. Okay.
arriving in July.
Next up is Don't Wake the Beast, but the developers have sent over an intricate overview, so I'll sit this one out.
Hi, my name is Timek. I'm the game designer and producer behind Don't Wake the Beast. Don't Wake the Beast is a stealth roguelike in which your goal is to steal as many treasures as possible and run away from the beast. The tricky part is that each treasure has its weight, and the more you pick up, the more noise you generate. But when you fail, there's always another run. My game will feature 4 biomes, all with unique mechanics and beasts.
Just looking at it, I wasn't super interested in that, but once I understood what the game was,
Things out with worship.
I'm all in now. That sounded really, really interesting. Innovative even.
Inspired by Pikmin, this cute and creepy multiplayer roguelite tasks you with performing blood rites and recruiting followers to please the old ones. It's coming soon to PC, and you can wishlist it on Steam.
That was
Need to get people on board for anyone to care. That's fair, yeah.
The Summer Showcase selection. Laura?
Oh, it's time for an update on Scum, the survival shooter with poop mechanics.
What?
Not as in like they're bad, no. Just like you have to manage your bowel movements to survive.
Okay, weirdly, that's really interesting to me.
Peggy 18.
I want to know a bit more about like what that actually means, you know? Because like this is a real thing that you have to think about in like survival situations, right? Because like you're super vulnerable while you're pooping. I don't know. I kind of want to micromanage my poop. Is it weird that I'm like intrigued by this? Yeah, super interesting choice to use negative reviews, but I mean, I think that's like 2,166 hours played. Was it really that bad? Oh, I missed the penis size slider.
Inspired reviews have grabbed your attention, then we're here to help.
Yep, you can head to the link on screen right now for a chance to win one of 100 keys for Scum 1.0.
Wait, somebody get me that key. What the heck? How dare you?
On June 17th.
Now, our next game is a squad-based survival shooter where you dodge deadly dinosaurs. Here's the
Ooh,
latest trailer
dinos.
for Death Ground.
My sister would be super into this. Yeah, and somebody in their chat was like, Link? And I'm like, yeah, how do you put it up for like 2 seconds? And like, rude.
4 players. You must do everything you can to survive in these dinosaur-infested abandoned facilities. Could you survive?
Probably not, no.
Hi, Crisol Games, the indie dev team behind Deathground.
The main threat you'll need to avoid is the raptors, specifically Utah raptors. So unlike velociraptors, which are much smaller, they measure around 7 feet tall. I'm about 5'3".
I'm gonna write this down for my sister.
We've spent most of our development time taming them, and it's been a huge challenge because...
How do you get something that size with that tail to behave all in multiplayer?
Exactly. Of course, there'll be other dinosaurs for you to deal with. The number one
Compies, of course.
the Compsognathus, aka the Compy.
What might look like a decent hiding space for you as players might actually be a refuge for these little creatures, putting the terror in territory.
As for other species, you may spot the
Can you play as dinosaurs? Fair. Are they...
roaming around in the background.
I feel like they're a PvE threat.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
There are multiple maps and missions that will be playable at launch. Mission Command, the single-player tutorial and introduction.
I think it's Beasts of Bermuda. Is that the one where you play as the dinos?
Agricultural, which has become a little bit overgrown and it is in need of some weeding.
And biomedical, which is my personal favourite, where you'll have to sneak in and steal raptor eggs. You know, for science.
Each mission is replayable and is an important piece of the puzzle. Each detail or collectible that you come across will help you unlock the lore and discover the truth about the disastrous events of the past.
Deathground is launching on Steam Early Access this year. Keep a lookout for our roadmap.
Seems pretty cool. You play the scientist? That would be cool too.
Launching into Steam Early Access later this
Gotta
year.
check out Dino
Keep an eye
Blade.
out for Roar news on that front.
Oh, actually, I think that showed up recently. I think that was the last one in the last showcase that I watched.
Here's Rogue Factor.
6-1, I think.
Weird action adventure game Hell Is Us.
What happened here? Madness, hatred, and lots of it.
Hi everyone, my name is Jonathan Jacques Belated, and I am the Executive Creative Director and Executive Art Director on Hell Is Us here at Rogue Factor. So the game that we've been developing for pretty much almost 5 years now is a game called Hell Is Us. So the game is definitely like an action-adventure game.
It is set in the world of Adia. It's a rogue state where there's a lot of really weird things happening. You play Remy.
I'm interested.
He was born there. Yeah, he was raised in a foster system in Canada, and he's going back.
Canada. Wait, are you guys from Quebec? Is that the flavor of French you are?
Where, the adventuring is just, if you think about it, the exploration and the discovery, they're only there by theme. You had just been following marker after marker, and until the last marker is over your actual thing you needed to find. Almost all the variables connected to the exploration and connected to your discovery are given to you in a silver platter. So we look at it kind of like the inverse in our game because we got rid of all these things.
I remember chatting with John about the old Zelda games, how it was straightforward and like you had just enough to know where to go, but not too much.
It's basically how life works if you think about it, right? We basically orient ourselves by sight and hearing and what people.
Okay, I'm really interested in this. I like the idea that they're trying to take like a realistic like experience of it. I might also get really frustrated by that, who knows?
You talk to NPCs and they're literally going to tell you a clue, right? So Rebecca and Jova, when she kind of hints you where the Owen convoy, the direction that it took, she says, I don't know where they went exactly, but I know they took the road that goes behind the weird monuments, and she says, you can see them from here. And as you're talking to her, behind her, quite far, you see some peculiar monument-looking thing. You're like,
that's super cool.
Like, is that, if I go, and then you go there and you see the road that turns, and it's maybe the convoy did come here.
Oh, I'm super in.
And it works really, really well. Like any game, especially a game of almost 40 hours, sometimes it works better than others. You know, no game is absolutely perfect, but it's very much it's the joy of exploration, the joy of discovery. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Official AAF business.
Of course, we can't talk about Hell Is Us without talking about our monsters, and the enemies, the limbic entities, are physical manifestations.
Did he call them limbic entities?
What does an emotion look like? Who knows? So,
what does an emotion look like?
Kind of like fractally, geometrically thingies, you know. So we have grief, ecstasy, terror, and rage. So the Hollow Walker represents a bit. It's just a husk. That's why we call it the Hollow Walker, and it's a bit like a facsimile of a human being who's felt is very strong.
That's pretty cool.
Emotion, and then they look like that because we tried a lot of things and they ended up looking like this.
Oh, those look so cool.
So you'll be able to play Hell Is Us on September 4th.
Oh, that looks really cool.
Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and obviously PC.
Wishlist it now because Hell Is Us is coming to PC and consoles on September 4th.
All right, I think we're doing.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of really cool
This one's an action-adventure
concepts
in
in
a
there.
gorgeous cartoon world.
And it stars.
Oh, I do like cartoon graphics.
Is it us?
Maybe. Let's throw to someone who knows while I take this totally real phone call. Hello? Hi.
All right.
Hey Laura, hey Matt. I'm super excited to be back on the Future Game Show where I belong, and you are doing a fantastic job. Like I said to the producers when I was hosting, if you strike me down, this is live, isn't it? So yeah, New Tales reached out and I am officially in their game. Actually, seeing you just reminded me, they're looking for a killer writer who can also perform. Let me call Jasmine. Look, it's fine. You're doing great for time. Hey, Jazz.
Hi, Sam.
I've got a really cool gig.
I don't understand what's happening.
I'm pretty sure Matt and
Oh, silly gimmicky hosting.
Game with you, but only if you're coming to the D&D group next week because our party could really use a barbarian.
All right. I guess we're all doing this. That was easy.
Oh my god, speaking of barbarians, who was around for Aoife to smack a closet into exploding today? Okay. Oh. What? Kind of a bob. That was like a spine or something. Okay, this is interesting. I really like the art style of it. And her like kind of like becoming water seems really interesting as a mechanic. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Oh, cool! She went into like acidy shit and became acidy stuff. Okay, that's pretty cool. Oh shit.
That's right. We're
Okay, good.
joining Samantha Bayard, yes, Karlak herself, and the awesome Jasmine Bular in Fading Echo, coming to PCs and consoles next year.
And you can wishlist it today on Steam or the Epic Game Store. Go, 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 go!
We got another block of back-to-back trailers up next. Let's dig in.
We have been blessed to live in times of peace, but our city is not without its enemies. The demons above, and the beasts below.
All right, I'm pumped. Let's do this.
You're going to be bishops too?
Time moves when you do. Ooh, I do like that. It's not quite time-based, or turn-based, but it is interesting.
We recruit from the finest soldiers in the church, and still, 1 out of every 3 bishops doesn't make it past the first year.
Does it get easier after that? We gave you those robes for a reason.
I'm kind of just interested in like trying out the way that that combat works.
Damn, I love the church.
Am I supposed to be able to read that? There's a lot going on the screen right now, and a lot going on in my ears. I do like it. It's a bop. Is this considered a bullet hell? I don't know shit. Oh, you can play during Steam Next Fest, which is coming up. If people have games that they see during Steam Next Fest that they want to see me try out, let me know. If I do Steam Next Fest stream, it'll be near the end of it. Cause I got stuff to get done. I'm still working on Luto and Eriksholm, unfortunately. 2 videos coming out next week, along with all of these showcases. He's cute. I like the animation. Oh, is he a robot but also has a plant on his head? And then he fished up a robot? Is it weird for him to be fleshy? It feels like everything else is robot-y. Oh, another fleshy one. Is this a game within a game? Been seeing a lot of those lately. I don't think it is. I think it is just... Favorite cavemen? Am I supposed to know these cavemen? Joe and Mac Retro Collection, you say? Does anybody else know Joe and Mac? Should I know Joe and Mac? I think it is, yeah. I just don't recognize it.
The Future Game Show Steam page?
The Future Game Show Steam page.
Pinned or description. It's there.
The next game from the minds behind Until Dawn.
Directive 8020 is about a deep space mission to save humanity and the shape-shifting alien who gets in the way. Let's throw it over to Supermassive Games to find out more.
We are going to do this. Just
looks great.
Not until you move from the scanner.
Oh!
Those things can change shape.
They're gross! They look really good.
We need urgent assistance. Please.
Interesting. I feel like I don't understand quite what the gameplay of it was.
Hey, I'm Will Doyle, Creative Director on Directive 8020, and I'm here to share with you a new feature that we've added for the first time in a Dark Pictures game. Turning Points is a new narrative system which allows you to go back and change the outcome of your choices.
I do like that. There's been a couple of games that I've played that have had that sort of mechanic in it.
You'll be able to track the choices and paths that you've taken in the game.
Beacon Pines did that.
To each of the major decisions you've made.
Beyond the Pale Beyond has that in it.
Collect missing collectibles, or see how different choices would have played out. By the same token, your actions matter in our games. If you want to live by your decisions, there's also a survivor mode setting that prevents you from rewinding, but still lets you view the decision tree. Turning points will be available both digitally and physically for all copies of the game from when you start your very first mission.
They got me with the
The
narrative.
ability to rewind and change your choices to see the consequences in each branching path.
It's coming to PC, PlayStation, and Xbox in 2025, and if it's not on your wish list already, go fix
Yeah,
it.
somebody else mentioned this. Like, this person already did that. I'm like, yeah, like, it's not that innovative to be able to go back,
With a
but
meticulous control scheme.
I do like it a lot.
To tell you more.
That was something that, like, I got really excited about when I was playing Beacon Pines.
Survival climber. Your goal is to climb a mountain and reach a summit no one has ever conquered.
This is like
You can
the
climb almost
third
anywhere,
mountain
and
climbing
climbing
game I've
mechanics
seen.
are highly realistic. You'll need to carefully manage your balance and stamina. Make a mistake and you'll fall and get hurt.
I want to see
For the first
Chris
time,
play this.
We are also showing what it's like to climb at high altitudes. When you get up there, you'll face ice walls that require to use ice axes and spikes. But don't think you can just jam your tools into the ice. Ice climbing is precise.
This is really interesting, just because of how realistic it is.
Solid grip. Cairn's realistic climbing system also supports mixed climbing. That means you can have one hand on the rock and the other using an ice tool.
This looks really
It's up to
cool.
you to read the rock face and choose the most strategic route to the top. Cairn is coming up on PlayStation 5 and Steam later this year. You can already give it a try in the demo available on PC and
Oh, a demo. Okay, I kind of want to check out the demo for that. Just, it seems really interesting.
PC later this year, and you can also check out a free demo on both platforms after the show. What's next, Matt?
We're mixing things up with a double bill of trailers. Here are two great games from our friends at Quali.
Korea is devastated. Oh, more zombies, okay. Very mutated looking zombies. It's quite the outfit. Really accentuates the cheeks. I don't know what a quap is. There was another mountain climbing game that I want to say it was in the Galaxies showcase. I could be wrong though. And it seemed interesting as well. Was that a zombie dinosaur? What the fuck? Those old Flash games. Oh, okay. No, I didn't. Aw. Poor little guy. Oh. Wait, so there's like good insect things and bad insect things? Oh, there's some really interesting looking enemies in this. The like urchin-y type thing was kind of cool. Oh, I saw a mushroom. It looks like it might have been a weapon. I could be wrong though, but a mushroom weapon would be kind of cool.
Hark the Ghoul and Ground Zero are both coming soon to PC. What's up next, Laura?
We're taking a look at a game called Hella. It's a cooperative folklore adventure where you and your friends band together
Do like
as
folklore.
brave little mice.
Oh, I thought that was a cat. There's something wrong with me. It did say co-op though. Co-op's gotta be like real good because I don't really like playing with other people. But this looks real cute and it's folklore-y. Put it all the time in your school computer lab. Oh, interesting. Yeah, no, I don't recognize it. God, I miss school computer labs. Puzzle? Moose! I don't know if the size on that was perfect. I feel like the mice should have been smaller. Moose are huge.
Hella is coming soon to PC, PlayStation, and Xbox, so give it a wish list on Steam or the Epic Game Store.
Moving swiftly on.
Oh, interesting.
Time for a look at Luto. This is a
Oh,
psychological thriller
that's
where the
interesting.
protagonist is trapped inside their own home.
Button choices.
We're about to find out when you can play it.
Peggy 18.
How can you distinguish between what is real and what isn't?
I don't know, but I love a game that messes with my sanity.
What you hear? What happens when everything starts to feel wrong? To seem fake? Like a trick?
It's a story about a lot of different things, apparently. Luto. Oh, I do like sanity messing things. That wasn't a real sentence.
Luto is coming to PC, PS5, and Xbox. In the meantime, you can wishlist it on Steam or the Epic Game Store.
It's world premiere time again, and this next reveal arrives with an introduction from a very special someone.
Alright.
Hello everyone.
Okay, cool, thank you.
I'm excited to be a part of Future Game Show 2025. There are so many amazing games coming out, and I'm very happy that I have a bit more time to play them these days. As many of you know, I have been a huge fan of the work of N-Twins. Synapse is my favorite VR game of all time, and I'm honored to present this new groundbreaking title from the team. If you are at Summer Game Fest, I shall see you on the show floor at the N-Dreams booth. So, it is my pleasure to introduce you to Reach.
Very intense. Why is everything floating? Tell me more about this weird, pardon me, gravity place. I don't understand. Tell me more about the world. That was brutal! I know it was a robot, but still, that was its spine. Also, music's a bop. Oh. Live the action. Live the adventure. Oh my gosh. Make the leap. Reach. That looks pretty cool.
Ambitious virtual reality action adventure coming to PSVR.
It is VR
Steam,
though,
and
so.
MetaQuest in 2025.
Okay, Matt. It's time to check in with everybody's favorite depressed and recently divorced duck.
Oh, yes. It could only be the Duck Detective.
He may have cracked the mystery of the secret salami, but when you're that good at your job, there's always a new case to solve.
I feel like I've seen Detective Duck before. Interesting that there's seemingly a second one coming out.
Hi, I'm Annika.
And I'm Johnny. We're Happy Broccoli Games based in Berlin, Germany.
Our newest game is Duck Detective, the Ghost of Glamping, where you are the one and only Duck Detective, a depressed and recently divorced duck who must quack the case.
Inspect evidence, make
I like the
the
paper.
To the annoyance of the Duck Detective, he is joined by a new partner.
Yeah, I feel like it might have been too much for me in VR also.
Work together to unravel the truth and nibble on the crumbs of justice. Right now, we're working on a simplified Chinese language update that is coming out later this year.
We're very excited for you to play. The game is out on Steam, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One and Series XS, and PlayStation 5. Thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Are those bread slices?
Duck Detective.
Bread's bad. There's a goat. Bread's bad for ducks.
Detective, the Ghost of Glamping has already waddled its way onto PC and consoles, so go check it out.
I feel like I should probably play the
We've
first
had plenty of
one.
exciting premises so far, but how about a rhythm roguelike from the maestros behind Patapon? Get on your dance
Okay.
shoes, folks, because Ratatan is up next.
I have been saying how much I want to try out a rhythm game. Literally every showcase, a rhythm game has come up and I'm like, I kind of want to do a rhythm game. But this is also a roguelike? It's very cute sounding. I feel like I'm dumb. Because I know they're showing gameplay and I'm just not understanding it. Okay, I figured it out. I was like missing the part where the rhythm part was a part. Words are good. It's very cute. And out soon. Or out in early access soon.
Ratatan is coming to Steam Early Access on July 25th, but there's a free demo available on Steam
Oh.
if you want to give it a try.
And we're following that bombshell with a new trailer for Agatha Christie, Death on the Nile, an interactive 70s twist on the beloved detective mystery.
It's Poirot, don't you know?
Oh.
I gotta read some Agatha Christie. Agatha. Oh. Come on, migraine, let me talk. Yeah, like there's just like some authors where like you feel like you should read at least one of their books at some point. It'll probably be Death on the Nile. That's like the one to read, you know? There's a couple other like really popular titles as well.
What do you suggest I do?
There's also like 6 billion different movies that are Death on the Nile.
Yes, we keep the list. Everyone is here.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry to disrupt what promised to be a beautiful day, but I have some terrible news. But we must stay calm if we want to find the culprit. I have a small idea of the situation.
I'm May Leach. My, you got here quickly. I've just finished my latest case.
2 detectives, 2 investigations.
But someone is lying to me.
That's interesting. Is that normal? I don't know the story at all. I feel like normally it's just Poirot, right?
A dangerous one. What do we have here?
Thank you, Mr. Poirot. I'm now going to search each of you. Then there's still time to stop them before they strike again.
Tomorrow, the day at least is here. Every question must have its answer.
I'll write it down.
Agatha Christie Death on the Nile is coming to PC and consoles in September of 2025, but you can wishlist it now on Steam or the Epic Games Store.
Okay, I don't want to build up this next trailer too much, but let's just say you're gonna flip.
That's a vampire in the back, I think. Kitty Prince. Creepy. Scooby-Doo van? House Flipper Scooby-Doo? Wait, Scoobtober? What's Scoobtober?
Soinks, Laura! House Flipper 2 Scooby-Doo is meddling its way onto PC and consoles this Scootober.
Now we're starting to close in on the end of the show, but not before we...
Are there gonna be a bunch of Scooby-Doo things?
Our team behind the scenes visited the Hangar 13 office for an exclusive insight into Mafia, the Old Country. Here's all the gory details.
Most likely to get into a knife fight, you say?
Mafia, the Old Country is both a prequel to the original Mafia trilogy, and it also sets things up.
I don't know anything about the Mafia games.
Going back to 1900 Sicily, so the birth of not just the Mafia game, but also the actual Mafia itself, back to where organised crime first really...
That's kind of cool.
In Mafia, the Old Country, you play as a character called Enzo Favara, who's an upcoming gangster trying to make his way in the Sicilian Mafia.
As a child,
You're excited for this one? It's all about the family? That's super cool. I'm into it just for like the education aspect of it.
Happened back in those days, so he doesn't know family, he doesn't really know love. He escapes, he falls in with the Teresi crime family, and then this game really, this story shows his rise through the ranks.
That's really
as he goes from
cool.
being this impoverished young man to a made man.
For Mafia, the Old Country, we moved to Unreal Engine 5, which has really enabled us to do incredible things with the characters, with the landscapes, with the cinematics. Every single aspect of the game has undergone a significant graphical upgrade.
Mafia has always been about pushing the technology of its day to do the best in cinematic storytelling and exciting narrative gameplay. It really makes what's already an emotional story even more emotional and meaningful.
We've been able to capture incredible nuances in the mocap, in the acting, in all of the character performances. That's really helped us to bring our story to life. And as a little taste of what's in store, we've got a cinematic to show which shows a key moment in Enzo's story.
Peggy 18.
Come forward.
Yeah, I feel you, Steel.
All of the men in this room are bound by blood. This is a family. And in this family, we follow a code of honor. It's a way of life. A brotherhood.
You're here because of your deeds and the assertions of those who stand at your side.
This life is one of secrecy. If you make a friend, meet a woman, they must not know about our thing.
Trust is a fragile thing.
It is binding. It is not forgiving. To betray one is to betray all.
I thought the wives always knew. But maybe I'm wrong.
You wish to commit yourself, your
Or do
life
they just know, you know? Because they're wives.
Yes. I do.
Then, before the eyes of all here present, join me.
In giving each other our blood diseases.
To become a man of honor, repeat these words.
I was worried it was gonna burn him.
To this family.
I swear my loyalty to this family.
My flesh must burn like this saint if I do not keep my oath.
That's fair, Mon. That makes sense.
My flesh must burn like this saint if I do not keep my oath.
What saint is it?
Welcome, Enzo.
Benvenuto, Enzo.
Benvenuto, Enzo. Benvenuto.
Salute.
Salute.
Yeah, for sure, Steel. I also just I really like stylized graphics and like more cartoony graphics. So, as much as I think like all these realistic graphics look really nice, like it's not actually something that sells me on a game
Take a trip to
usually.
Sicily when Mafia: The Old Country lands on August 8th for PC, PlayStation, and Xbox.
Next on our docket is a developer presentation for Tenet of the Spark. If you haven't seen it all over social media, this is a time-hopping brawler where you solve puzzles and crush enemies across 3 distinct timelines.
That's kind of cool. I like timeline mess-arounds.
Hey, what's up? I'm Artem, the game director at Rogue Games, a small indie team scattered around the globe. We're making our first game, Tenet of the Spark.
The true power of the spark.
It's a cinematic action where you fight bad guys.
I love the
present day, the
like
wide
comic
range
book-esque
of
like
Aztec
popping up
civilization,
of
all
the
at the
hits.
same time. You got it, right?
Ancestor.
That's cool.
And it's not just for show. You have to use all 3 characters to explore, deal with tricky enemy types, and solve puzzles. It also answers questions you thought you'd never ask. Like, how the hell does this black boxer have a Viking for the great-great-great-grandpa? Or why does this train car turn into a giant rock? And the biggest question is, why did they risk a role with such a difficult project? Because we wanted to play a game where you can
This
start
is
with
pretty
+1,
cool.
2, then
Like the
set
concept's
across
really
the arena with
cool.
your hammer, switch
Speaking of
buttons,
stylized.
bullseye, beat him with a huge combo across all 3.
And I think this is just more interesting. You know?
And now we're making that game with the blood, sweat, and spark. Tenet of the Spark. You got it, right?
I got a little mini.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense, Amon.
Watch up, watch up.
We're not dropping the release date yet because we want to do it right.
Good for you.
We can say it's coming to both PC and consoles. Follow and wishlist Tenet of the Spark on Steam. And go look at your family album. Maybe your grandpa was a badass like mine. You never know.
I don't know who my family is. They'll probably get this. It looks really cool. I think the concept's really cool.
It's coming soon to PC and consoles, so pop it on your wish lists. All right, what have you got for us, Laura?
A first look at gameplay for Crisol, Feeder of Idols. This is a first-person horror shooter for fans of BioShock and Resident Evil.
Okay,
You
cool.
fight creepy statues on a tormented island and use blood as your ammunition.
I'm gonna pre-order it right now.
I do like creepy statues. Using blood as your ammunition sounds really interesting.
Guide my path
Another Blumhouse game.
in this hour of darkness. As the shadows of the abyss.
I bet your Red's got his ears perked up now. Red really likes BioShock. And Resident Evil for that matter. The blood of whom? I assume your enemies, but maybe your own. It's a good question. I feel like I'd actually really like BioShock. That's another game that I should check out. New Resident Evil game looks kind of cool. I haven't seen it, I don't think.
So my soul may ascend to you.
Okay, so it's definitely your own blood. I should do BioShock? Yeah. I've seen some of one of them from Red playing it. But I do think I'd like it. Resident Evil Requiem. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it. I want to play more of the Resident Evil games too, actually. I've only played the one. I don't remember which one it is. Was it 2 that I played? That looked really cool.
Holy moly, that looks good.
You're telling me. Crisol Theater of Idols is coming to PC, Xbox, and PS5 later this year, and your Steam wish lists in just a few moments, probably.
I hate to say it, Matt, but I think we've arrived at the final trailer.
Okay, well, how do you want to do this?
I'm thinking we both look into that camera right there,
Okay.
and we're both sad that the show's over. But it's okay, because that last trailer's really cool, and so the folks at home will be happy, and we've done a good job, I think. So, does that work?
You know, sounds perfect to me. Please enjoy
That was very
our
cute.
world premiere.
Ooh, I liked it.
Yeah, it's fun.
They were great hosts. I'm not surprised at all, of course.
Daughters of Hortus, to these blessed halls of Porthbarrow. You have been chosen, honored to the parish, to serve the will of Mother. So
Good. Serve the will of Mother, yes.
let us see what flowers she's given us. Such radiant blooms. So full.
Weird thing to say, but the sound design of this trailer is really good.
Now, I must confess a change in plans. You shan't be entering the garden today. Take heart, faithful ones. The garden must still be tended. And tonight, you will be sown!
I don't understand what the game is, but it looks cool. Ritual Tides. Interesting. There's definitely something...
Hold on. I've got something to show you.
There's definitely something about, like, the women, like, feeding the garden.
Like that, did you?
August for
That was your
gameplay
first
reveal?
look at Ritual Tides, a terrifying odyssey where you tango with Lovecraftian terrors. Wishlist it now.
Okay,
because
but
it's
what
coming
kind of game is it?
Full gameplay reveal during the next Future Games show in August, so mark your calendars for that.
Gosh, they have a next one in August?
The very end of this year's
Eee.
Don't go anywhere though, because FGS Live from Los Angeles airs right after this, with even more exclusive trailers, developer deep dives, and world premieres.
We'd like to thank everybody who has tuned into the Summer Showcase, as well as the dream-weaving developers who put their all into those amazing trailers we debuted today.
And remember, you can head to the dedicated Future Game Show Steam page to wishlist your favorite games from
Pinned on Twitch, down below on
Also,
YouTube.
follow-up content on GamesRadar.com and the FGS YouTube channel.
I'm Matt Mercer.
And I'm Laura Bailey.
And
this has been the Future Game Show Summer Showcase 2025.
There were a lot of really good looking games. There were actually some innovative games, which I'm happy about, because that was like the point of the Future Games part of Future Games Showcase. So now that we've seen my reactions to all of the games, let's delve in a little deeper to a couple of the ones that really stood out to me. I want to start first with just a couple of honorable mentions. To keep it short, we're going to only really talk about 10, but I wanted to mention Scum for its innovation in poop. I just thought this was like a really interesting thing, and because I'm such a huge survival fan, the idea of having to pay attention to when you're going to move your bowels, I think that's something that we don't really talk about in survival a lot, but in a real life survival situation, you're extremely vulnerable when you have to poop. So I just thought that was an interesting addition to a survival game. Crisol, this one looks like something that I would really enjoy. I haven't played a lot of this style of game, but I've played a little bit of Resident Evil, and then I've watched a lot of BioShock, and those were two games that were brought up as being similar to this, and I just really like the aesthetic of it. My final honorable mention, oh my gosh, we're not at the top of that page, that's annoying. My final honorable mention is Sleep Awake. The reason this is an honorable mention and not in my top 10, there's no real reason for it, except that there are a lot of horror games in my top 10 already. I do think that that playing around with sleep is a really interesting, like, narrative concept, which is why I wanted to make sure I mentioned it. So now let's jump into my actual top 10, although it's very hard for me to choose any top 10 anyways, and these are in no particular order. The first one that I have pulled up here is the Bureau of Fantastical and Arcane Affairs. The description says the Bureau of Fantastical and Arcane Affairs is a comedic first-person narrative adventure. As an inspector at the Bureau, the fate of this fable is in your hands. Do your job, fix the shambled story, or don't. When you're done, step into the hero's boots and see what sort of tale your work wrought. So I think this is actually maybe the top of my top 10. I don't know. I'll probably change my mind as we go through. But I thought that this was a really interesting idea, again, because it's kind of like the opposite side of a regular video game where you're creating the dungeon. It also kind of, like, when it first came up and they first started talking about it, it gave me kind of like 2 Point and like other management sim vibes. And I've been really into 2 Point Campus recently. And I guess just like the idea of like the comedy vibes as well as the management and like the creating of a dungeon kind of gave me the same like feeling as that. So I got really excited about this one. The next one in my top 10 is Hell Is Us. The description says, if war is the closest we get to hell on Earth, it's because Earth harbors the worst of demons, humankind. In an isolated country ravaged by infighting, discover the secrets of your past and deal with the repercussions of mysterious calamity. So if I'm remembering correctly, this is the one where it's set up to be like very realistic in like the way that you get your quests and things. Yeah, the no map, no compass, no quest markers. Well, this is, I'm sure, something that has been done many a time in video games, especially in like older ones before we decided that every game had these things. But I kind of enjoy games sometimes where like I have to be taking like real notes and like actually piecing things together instead of the game telling me how the clues fit together. So that's what excited me about this, as well as just the fact that it's obviously like a horror-ish game, if not just a horror game, a survival game. These are types of games that I really enjoy, and it's the type of media that I like in like a bunch of different media. Like I like horror and survival in like movies and books and like all of that as well. So it's kind of like my thing. Is this the one that has the enemies? Yes, this is also the one that has the enemies that are, there's ones that are hollow humans as if like the emotion has escaped them, and then also enemies that are shaped as emotions. And that's a concept that I'm like really interested in, is like taking abstract things and making them like tangible. So that was like another aspect that really excited me about this game. Next one I have on my list is Tenet of the Spark. I'll read the description first. Tenet of the Spark is a cinematic action game where you seamlessly switch between 3 timelines: modern day, Viking Age, and Aztec world, to get the edge in battle. Crush enemies, solve time-bending puzzles, and explore three distinct worlds full of rich history and unique characters. So, the thing that excited me the most about this was the fact that you're forced to switch between these characters because they have different capabilities, different strengths, and can do different things. But the way that the switches happen is so interesting to me, because you're not just switching like the character, but the entire environment changes, but it keeps the environment the same, if that makes sense. So like if there is in the Viking Age like a giant hunk of rock, in modern age that rock will still be there, but it might be a building instead, or it might be, I think there was one where it was like there was a giant rock in the Viking Age, and then it was like a shipping container in modern age. And so I just think that's super interesting. The aesthetic and like graphics of it are also really cool to me. Particularly the comic book style, like words popping up like as you do like combat stuff. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, the switching between the 3 characters who are ancestors, the concept of ancestors is really interesting to me as well. And they kind of pointed out like how the heck is like this person related to this person, and so there's clearly some sort of narrative that's going to follow figuring out like exactly how each of these people are ancestors of each other. I know ancestors technically only goes backwards, relatives of each other, long distance relatives of each other, distance in time. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. The next one I have on my list is Luto. Luto is a psychological horror experience where you take on the role of someone unable to leave their home. Every attempt to escape will lead you deeper into the unknown, where nothing is as it seems and everything will test your senses. So, I said before that horror and survival, but horror is kind of like one of my favorite things. It's really weird because I feel like my channel ends up filled with horror and wholesome, which are like at opposite ends of things, but I'm allowed to like scary and cute things, okay? But this one's a psychological horror, and it particularly plays around with like perception and memories. So it seems like one of the biggest things is not being able to tell when something's real. So in the trailer, they were flipping between like a pristine hallway and then a less than pristine hallway. Which is like these hallways here. Oh, maybe not. This hallway and this hallway, I think, are the hallways that were there. And it's kind of asking, like, which one of these is real? Which one is in your imagination? And so I just think that's a really interesting concept. I love a psychological horror. The next one that I have here is Don't Wake the Beast. In Don't Wake the Beast, a roguelike stealth game, you'll sneak through the ever-changing dungeons to steal precious treasures guarded by deadly beasts. Use your trusty grappling hook to evade traps, outsmart enemies, and solve puzzles. But beware, each treasure you claim makes escaping more dangerous. And that last piece is the piece that it was kind of like the innovation of the game, in my opinion. Again, I mean, I suppose that carrying capacity isn't that new, but I'm not sure I've seen it in this style of game. The kind of like 2D top-down. I feel like carrying capacity isn't usually a thing that affects the way that you move in it. I could definitely be wrong. I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of other games. But that was kind of the thing that stood out to me. But I do find it really interesting. It's also, rather than combat, it's stealth, which is something that draws me into a game, because I have no problem with combat. I don't think combat's a bad thing in a game, but I always get like a little scared by combat because I feel like I'm not very good at it when it's in real time. Obviously I can play and get better, and obviously I've played Dark Souls. Dark Souls 3 particularly. Those are gonna come back, I promise. There's just been a lot going on lately, and I gotta edit some more Dark Souls. But the stealth and this carrying capacity, moving slower as you pick up treasures, was really interesting to me for this one. I also I love the art style of it. I think it's great. I love a roguelite. There's a lot going on for this game for me. It's fantasy. Like, I love fantasy. I'm definitely more of a fantasy girly than a sci-fi girly, and that definitely gets shown through this, because at the Future Games Show, there were loads of sci-fi games, and I don't think any of them are here. I guess Crisol is maybe a sci-fi game. The next one I have is Eriksholm. This one says, experience an isometric, narrative-driven stealth game and join Hannah's adventure in the vibrant city of Eriksholm. Eriksholm? I'm not sure. Eriksholm? The mysterious disappearance of her brother Herman ignites a chain of catastrophic events that will forever change their lives and the fate of the entire city. So there were a couple of things that drew me into this game. Again, it's stealth and puzzles, which that's my thing. I like stealth and puzzles. I feel like I've said lots of things are my thing. It is true. Lots of things are my thing. I have a very hard time niching down, if you haven't noticed. The art style of it really drew me in as well. It's been reminding me of something, and I still haven't been able to quite place it. So if it reminds you of something, let me know what it is, in case it's the thing that it's reminding me of. But I feel like the narrative drew me into this as well. So again, there were a lot of things that kind of drew me in. I do think the setting was something that drew me in as well. It does say explore the fictitious world of Eriksholm, a place of beauty, hardship, and adventure heavily inspired by the Nordic cities of the 1900s. So if you've been around, you know that I like to highlight games that are not American. And I mean like the United States of America, because I will be all over a Canadian game as a Canadian myself, and also anything below America that's in North America. The fact that it's a fictional world based on something that isn't American is great. I know a lot of people don't want to do Eurocentric either, and that's also fine. I do think that there are a lot of really interesting cultures that can be explored, especially when we go back in time. And I don't think that I'm also just I'm never going to be oh, that game's American, I won't play it. I just like to highlight when they're not, is all I'm trying to get to. I like to highlight when games are not American made or based in America, setting wise. We've got 2 more in this list. The next one is Call of the Elder Gods. Journey to the far corners of the earth and unearth ancient horrors in this Lovecraftian narrative puzzle adventure, and sequel to 2020's critically acclaimed Call of the Sea. I do believe I've heard of Call of the Sea before. I've not played Call of the Sea before. I don't know a whole lot about it. And this is a kind of a weird one to show up in my standouts, I think, simply because watching the trailer, I wasn't quite sure what the game was about. But I happen to have a chatter who knows a lot more about Lovecraftian stories than I do, and they kind of recognized what story this was about and was telling me about the story, and so I was then far more interested in the story because it has to do with the mind traveling through time. It seems really interesting, and I obviously love a narrative game. You can go check out all of my Luto reviews, and by all of them, I mean some of them are up and the rest of them are coming, but my top 6 is there for you to check out to see what is coming in reviews. But the Lovecraftian narrative is definitely the part that really drew me into this. Of course, I love a puzzle game, so not against it for that either. And the art style is nice. I really like the art style. I think the color palette's very vibrant. Not that graphics tend to not be the thing that draws me in or pushes me away. particularly is rarely the one that draws me in, especially in the way that a lot of other people get drawn into graphics. I don't really care for the hyper-realistic graphics. I far prefer stylized graphics. I talked about this a little bit during the thing, so if you watch the whole thing instead of skipping here to catch my standouts, then you'll know that we talked about it a little bit. Okay, the final one on this top 10 in no particular order is Sacrifire. Sacrifire is an upcoming RPG boasting a unique combat style, elaborate pixel art, and music by genre legend Motoi Sakuraba. Ezekiel Raiden, a young priest, struggles to keep his faith as the world he loves is threatened by a war between gods and demons. The adventure begins. So it is that unique combat system that allowed this to make it to my standouts. That the enemies only move if you do. And I think that's really interesting. Obviously, I'm immediately reminded by the game Super Hot, which I played a lot of back in 2020 when I was playing a lot of VR after being laid off and also being stuck inside for obvious reasons. Played a lot of that, a lot of Beat Saber. So I think the idea of the enemies only moving when you do is really interesting. I think it will obviously play out a little bit differently in the style of game than it does in something like Super Hot. But still a really interesting concept, and obviously extra interesting to bring it into a different style of game. In addition to that, I think the world building of this is really interesting. There seems to be kind of like the like real world perhaps, and then some sort of spirit world, which makes a lot of sense when our main character is a priest. So I'm interested to see how that narrative unfolds as well. But for once, that's not the thing that's drawing me in more than anything else. It is that combat thing. And I'm really excited to hopefully get a chance to check that out. There are so many games and so little time. So I do find it really hard. I always say like, oh, like I'd love, or like I'm looking forward to playing this. And that might be in 30 years. I don't know. Just because there are so many games. But this is definitely one that I think would be really interesting. I don't know, maybe there's a demo I can check out. I don't see a demo off the top of the thing, but that doesn't mean that there isn't one coming, because it does say that its release date is Q1 2026, so they definitely have time to get a demo out at some point. So I'll be keeping my eyes open for that. So that was a look at my standouts from the Future Games Showcase. Hopefully you got a chance to watch the whole showcase. In case there was something that was more of a standout for you than it was for me, let me know if something made it into your standouts that didn't make it into mine, because everybody likes slightly different things, so I'm curious what you're most excited about. Keep an eye out for a couple more showcases coming out, as well as continued reviews from Luto and Eriksholm, and a bunch more stuff, depending on when you're watching this, could be going on. I hope you guys had fun. I had a blast. Catch you next time. Bye.